If you are a window cleaner focused on getting more jobs through social media, what do you have to post on social media, and what's the strategy that you have to do to get people to actually book more jobs through you? My name is Jonathan Lindsay. I've brought in over 500,000 views in the first 10 days for every single contractor that I've worked with. And we average about 1 million views per month for each of the clients that we work with. That means about 33,000 per day on average for each of my clients at the moment. And to give you a little bit of context on that, most contractors, even with marketing agencies, will get between 300 and 10,000 views per video and will post 8 to 20 times per month. That means on the higher end, if somebody posted 20 times a month and got 10,000 views per video, we'd perform 5 times better than that contractor and up to 416 times better than other contractors. But at the end of the day, nobody cares about views. You care about money and getting more jobs for window cleaning. And so how do you do that in a way that is most effective? And just to give you a little bit of context about how this has worked for other companies as well, other contractors, one of our contractors gotten way bigger projects because of this. They might not have been window cleaning, but they moved from projects that were $50,000 to $250,000 projects because of the reputation from their organic presence. Another contractor that we worked with got 595 new estimate requests in the last 3 months because of what I'm about to show you today. So if you want more window cleaning jobs and bigger window cleaning jobs, then this is a strategy that I would use to approach that. Now, to be clear, this is not a silver bullet. It's not how to make things look pretty online. I'm trying to focus on the things, the psychology behind how these principles work. Throughout this video, I'll show you 3 different things. Number 1, I'll show you the content strategy behind this, how to create content that is really effective. And then you want to actually be able to predict how many people come in. You want to be able to predict the results that you're getting. And so to do that, you have to have a good ad strategy. And so I'll talk to you about the ad strategy that you need to do to be able to create results like this. And then I'll also mention thoughts on local-based content and how to create content that's valuable in your specific area. And to give you a little bit of context on this video, I had somebody who came to me. They said, we have a company that does about $700 to $800 per window, and that's their average ticket, or sorry, not per window, that's their average ticket for the whole house, and a $400 cost per acquisition. And so my thought is, like, how do we make sure that we lower that cost per acquisition so that it's maybe $300, $200, or maybe even $100 by creating really powerful marketing? And so this is a strategy I would do if I were in their shoes. And I wanted to show you guys because I thought this would be extremely valuable for you guys as well. So number 1, and this is the framework that I've used to create hundreds of thousands of views and tens of millions of views for my clients. And we focus on question-based content. And to give you a little bit of an example of exactly what this looks like, we focus on questions here that homeowners are thinking, or if they were watching or thinking and looking at their windows, like, what would they want to know about their windows? And so this is obviously a landscaping company, and so
Some landscapers screw up about the drip line.
they do a little bit of different work, but we start off in the same format. So it starts off with a question, and then the on-screen text is really important. And if you're doing content for your company, you have to test multiple different pieces of on-screen text. And one thing that we do for them is we do lots of different B-roll. You could hear the fabric being cut. It makes it way more engaging for viewers. If you're a window cleaner, then you could do multiple different things with this. I think one of the most powerful notes for window cleaning is that window cleaning is super satisfying. And so using B-roll of cleaning dirty windows will work like magic. So you could clip a microphone. I use the DJI Mic Mini Mic, and it's super good at catching all of those small noises, and it makes it way more engaging. So number 1, the questions are key. So by asking the right questions and then testing different on-screen text, you're going to get people to stop their scroll and want to know the answer of the question. So that's the first psychological secret. The second thing that we have to do is we have to get them to watch through the whole video. And so the way that we do that is something called B-roll. And so that is all the footage of people doing the work, whether that's cutting it, doing all this different work. If you put that in the background, then you can test multiple different videos using something called trial reels. Now, trial reels are a feature on Instagram that you could use to test different videos and see how they perform and see what performs best. If Instagram sees the content that looks exactly the same, then it'll flag it and say that that's duplicate content. But if you have different B-roll or different footage showing the work in the background, you just switch it out, then it makes it really easy for the editor or the person who's like putting the videos together to just switch the B-roll, and then Instagram sees it as a new video. And that's what makes it really, really powerful. Now, the final thought about this is one of the frameworks that we use to communicate these messages. So we love to use the SPIN framework. So what that is situation, problem, implication, and then need payoff. So most window cleaners will do this thing, or most homeowners have this thing on, like going on with their windows. But the problem with that is you explain the problem. And then the reason that this is a problem is because, and you want to get into a deeper implication here. So if you talk about how this affects like the resale value of the house, how it hurts like them if they like are like having other people over, it ends up looking really bad for visitors, then that's where it gets the personal question. You talk about how like every day you look out the window and then it's like super annoying because there's this like cloudy film on your window, then that's really digging into the pain for that customer. And then the final thing is the need payoff. And so to do it right, you want to, and then explain the method that you guys use to do it right. Now, these are a couple of questions that I would consider using. I'm not going to go through each of them, but you think about like, is Windex secretly bad for my windows? It like creates this question in homeowners' brains because everybody uses Windex for the windows. And they're like, am I doing something wrong? Are those white cloudy spots on my glass permanent? I know we have white spots outside of like our windows. And so it gets people to start thinking about these questions that are pretty common and then wanting to know an answer. So that is the first format that we want to use. And again, that format is something I've tested again and again. It's brought in tens of millions of views for my contractors. Now, second, we want to think about local-based content. Now, this is a little bit harder to do. Like, I'll be super honest with you. They'll get a little bit less views and a little bit harder to test on trial reels. But the value behind this is that you could test a lot of things locally. And it gets it so that people are talking about you locally. And so if tons of people in the area are like, oh, they know the story behind this weird thing, like this specific person was in Boca Raton. And so like the 90-year-old snowbird doing 15 under in the left lane without a blinker, like that would drive people nuts. And so if you start sharing those stories and thinking about the things that everybody's like, oh, like that drives me nuts about this city, and then get them sharing that story, then that will be way more likely for people locally to start sharing your content, doing your advertising for free, spreading your name for free. And so that's kind of the power behind some of this local content. You think about people, you think about weather and nature, you think about different places, lifestyle/seasonal, and you think about like all of these different things that get people to want to share your content and that are super relatable. Now, the final question about this is we want this to be a system where you consistently bring in new window cleaning jobs. And to do that, you have to be able to connect this with ads. So the question is, how does content end up connecting with ads? And the reality is that if you want to create really good ads, then you find really good content, and you know it's really good content because it performs really well, gets tons of views. That means people watch throughout the whole video. And then that will create a really good ad if you add a local call out and a local CTA. So an example of this, we say these people are in Utah County. So number one reason landscaping in Utah County dies after install. Or number one reason Utah County landscaping dies after install. And that gets people thinking, like they're like, oh, I know that this is relevant for my area. And so if they care about their landscaping, then they're gonna watch through the video. And want to hear what the person has to say. And they're going to get value out of it because we found that there's good content. We've already tested the content before. And then we could add a CTA on the end. So if you found this video helpful and you're interested in getting help with your landscaping here, then fill out the lead form to get information from us about a quote. And so that's kind of like the next step that you want to do. So again, content with a local call out plus a CTA is how we create the ads. And then you want a mix of awareness ads plus conversion-based ads. So awareness ads are like follow ads where you're getting people in your area to build goodwill. A lot of these are based around the idea of like, hey, follow us, and even if you don't work with us, we'll still give you all the tips and tricks so that you get the best results for your yard, for your windows. And that gets people to trust you. They're like, oh, like even if we don't work with them, they'll still help us. Like that creates a really good feeling of goodwill. And then we'll also create tons of social proof as you get lots of people in the area following you. So you think of follow ads as a way to get lots of people in the door who love you, love your company, and then the lead form ads to actually help convert them. So the follow ads get people to raise their hand, and lead form ads convert them into paying customers. And that's the way that you want to approach this, and that will get the best results. So those are some things that I would consider if I was working on creating content for window cleaning strategy or for a window cleaning company. Now, if you have any questions about this, if you're watching this video and you're like, okay, well, would you audit my page or would you look at some of the content that I'm doing, then I'd love to send you a video and love to do a similar video, and feel free to comment in the section below, and I'm happy to send suggestions your way about what to do in your situation or send a video to you. My whole goal is to help you guys. You could also follow my Instagram. I am at @thereal_John Lindsay. And again, my only goal is to help contractors to be able to make more money through content and social media. And that is how we do it.